Yo, YouTube, what's up? It's Radar25 here with the first episode of What Happened in Wrestling. So today I'm going to cover what happened on Monday Night Raw from February 10th, 2020. But before I get into the video, if you guys are watching, you guys like what you see, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and remember to hit the notification bell. Yo, guys. So, Monday Night Raw just passed. So we're going to go over it from start to finish, tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and where I think some things are going. I mean, at this point, it's pretty obvious. We're Mania season already in full force. So, let's go over it. Let's see how everything is going and what I thought of the show. Okay, so right here, I got the top takeaways from the Night Raw. The biggest storylines going right now on the red brand, going into Mania season. So, at first, we're going to start with the open of the show. All right, the opening of the show was Seth Rollins coming out with his faction, the AK Monday Night Messiah. He might have cut a promo along with Buddy Murphy and the AOP. Good promo. He's way better as a heel than he was as a babyface. Way better as a chicken shit heel with a faction behind them. A couple guys, big guys and watching his back. Just like my favorite time of Seth Rollins was when he was with Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble as his security team. That was awesome. He's best as a chicken shit heel. That's his thing. I really like the jacket. It's funny looking. And the one glove thing. It's a good way to get simple heat and get a reaction from just that alone. But they cut a good promo. And it was a good open to the show. I mean, these things get a little bit long and repetitive if every show opens with a 15-20 minute promo segment. But for what it was good. And my problem is that Monday Night Messiah thing is cool, but like typical WWE, they bang you over the head with it a million times, and that's all you hear. Monday Night Messiah, Monday Night Messiah, Monday Night Messiah. It's nonstop, and it can get tiring pretty quickly. But that's just the way WWE is. They like to just hammer that stuff home, those nicknames home, and trademark all that shit, and go from there. But it works. It's a good name, but I just wish they would say it a lot less. So he's cutting the promo, and then he's interrupted by Kevin Owens, who then says he's not alone. He comes out. The Viking Raiders come out, and then they attack AOP and Buddy Murphy. They're brawling on the outside while the chicken shit heel, Seth Rollins, is hanging out in the middle of the ring. And then all of a sudden, Samoa Joe sneaks up behind them to choke him out. That was good. That was cool. It was surprising. It wasn't super surprising, but it was a good segment for him to come out and do that. They break it up. They start brawling, and then the babyfaces clear the ring. Then they have Becky Lynch kind of interrupt the celebration of the babyfaces, kind of showing kind of being alpha, and just cutting off their moment and coming out, because she is the top star in the company as of right now, and rightfully so. So she came out, did her thing, got on the mic, and that brings us to the match she had with Asuka and Shayna Baszler attacking her at the end of. So she had a match with Asuka. These two girls have chemistry with each other, and they're always gonna have a solid match. They had the match at Royal Rumble that was good, and this match was there, but it was kind of like a throwaway match. I'm not really sure why they would do it after the brawl to start off the show. Seems a little out of place, a little odd, but it was a good match. Good work done by both ladies. Becky Lynch scores the win, and then she's celebrating in the ring, and then here comes Shayna Baszler in the ring, knocking her down, getting on top, and pounding down on her with fists. And then she decides to bite her in the back of the neck, which I thought was kind of weird. I'm not sure if they got the effect that they wanted to get. It was weird. It's just a weird tactic for her to use, very random. A cool visual with her with the blood all over her face. That shit was pretty cool. It's just weird, and she gets taken out in an ambulance after that. It's not that serious of a thing where she needs to take an ambulance out, but we'll get to that later because she, that plays in later in the show. But it's a cool little thing they did, but I don't think they got the effect or the reaction that they wanted to get from it. So it was okay. It's just basically all it was the visual of Shayna Baszler. Makes her look like a savage, a maniac. She's a star. And it's great that she got called up to Monday Night Raw. It's a great feud, but I just don't understand why they just didn't have her win the Royal Rumble and then challenge Becky Lynch from there. And Charlotte could have just either way just went to NXT because, oh, she lost the Rumble to an NXT person, so she's going to go down and try to win the NXT title. You could have done that. It's just, I don't know. It was okay. But they didn't feel like they got the reaction that they wanted to get from that. Next thing on the show was the Street Profits versus Riddick Moss and Mojo Rawley. It was kind of a throwaway match. I mean, it's good to see the Street Profits have a match rather than just doing backstage stuff. So that I guess that shit's pretty cool. I like that team. They're cool in NXT and they're pretty cool when they're here, but they just need something. They need a storyline. They need something. They need a feud to get into. This is basically just to set up after they got the Street Profits squashed Riddick Moss and Mojo Rawley, just to set up Riddick Moss rolling up Mojo Rawley to win 24/7 title. It's always that thing's just kind of like a comedy segment on the show. It's just to get guys involved, and they should have a pretty fun match at WrestleMania. Depending on who the hell the champion is, but it'd probably be a bunch of different title switches at Mania. Since the show is like 7 fucking hours long, they'll probably just have a million title changes throughout the entire night. So, kind of a whatever segment thing, which is one of the highlights of the night was the Drew McIntyre on VIP MVP Lounge, which is, it's an okay segment. It was what it was. It was there just to have MVP pretty much put over Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, I really like him a lot, really do, and nobody deserves the spot that he's in more than he does. I just want to go back a little bit to the Royal Rumble and just talk about the way that match was booked. It was brilliantly booked to me. The women's match, not so much. Like I said, I think Shayna Baszler should have won, and have her challenge Becky after that, for the title, and then have Charlotte kind of do like a redemption type of thing where she goes back to NXT and tries to go from there and win that title and, fight Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for that title rather than her winning the Royal Rumble and then trying to get an NXT title. I mean, I guess they're trying to maybe validate NXT as the third official, brand that it stands alone and it's up there with Raw and SmackDown. Either way, I mean, I just think they should have Shayna Baszler win it. When she came out, he got a good pop, and they should just had her win it. But going back to the men's Rumble, it was booked so great and amazing, with having Lesnar come in number 1, being the champion, throughout the first 13 guys that came in the match, and then have Ricochet with the low blow and then Drew McIntyre with the Claymore kick, boot Lesnar over the top rope, and set up that match for WrestleMania. Because you could see the heat that Lesnar got when he threw all 13 guys out. The crowd was livid. And then the guy that threw him out was going to be immediate star and over as soon as he did it. And you knew once he did it and the place went crazy that he's going to win the match. He's going to win the Rumble, he's going to face Lesnar at Mania, and he's going to win the title. So it was beautifully booked. It was wonderful. And Drew McIntyre deserves it. And he really does. So him on the VIP lounge was just there to get him over a little, more. He's got an amazing look to him. Big guy. He gets talking to Mike. I like his promos because they have some type of conviction towards them. He believes in what he's saying. It's not like he's just reading it off a piece of paper. He really believes. If you go back to when he first showed up on Monday Night Raw, he had a top-notch promo when he was calling out all the fucking guys in the back. All the wrestlers in the back. And it was an amazing promo. You felt it afterwards. You were like, wow, that was a promo because, he believed in what he was saying and he wasn't just reading it off a piece of paper. Great promo. So basically he's on the VIP lounge. He gets into it with MVP and then hits him with a Claymore kick, and the crowd likes it. Crowd eats it up, and it's just a way to build him, continue to build him as Lesnar doesn't show up on TV, continue to build him into that Mania match and keep him over and keep him hot. The show is Angel Garza versus Cedric Alexander. Angel Garza's up now, and he's got with Selena Vega while Andrade's gone. Angel Garza's up there. He's about to start the match, and then Humberto Carrillo comes in and attacks him, his cousin. So they start brawling, they separate it, and Humberto's taken out. Then they restart the match, and Angel Garza wins the match, and that was pretty much it. Decent little match over the time they had. Both guys are really good in the ring, especially Cedric Alexander. I kind of wish they would do a little bit more with him heading into Mania season, but he's probably going to be an Andre the Giant Battle Royal participant, most likely. I am interested to see what they do when Andrade finishes, and they have those two guys maybe working together because Selena Vega is their manager, and maybe they'll do something at Mania between those two guys versus Humberto and Rey Mysterio in a tag match, maybe on the kickoff show or something like that. Since that means they probably won't have the U.S. title on the line on the show unless Andrade loses it when he comes back. Who knows? But it could be a decent little storyline. God hoping. I fucking hope they bring back the LWO. That shit should be funny if they want to do that. It's a lot of good workers in that match if they do that tag team match at Mania. So that's it's not a bad look. So let's see if they do it. Okay, next thing in the show, as you can see up there with the infamous pointing to the sign that Charlotte's doing, that everybody does every 5 minutes. They always point to the sign. Rhea Ripley had a pretty much a squash match against Sarah Logan, and staring at Charlotte the entire time as she was standing there at the top of the ramp, and I guess just hyping up their match. That's eventually going to happen, even though it's been 3 weeks and Charlotte doesn't give an answer. She showed up in NXT last week, and shows up today during Rhea's match, and she hasn't given an answer. But we all know where it's going. It's going to be her and Rhea at Mania, and it should be a good physical match. Two strong women, physically imposing women, and it should be really good. Rhea Ripley's a star. We all saw that at Survivor Series, and how she just skyrocketed from there. She's going to be a major player in the women's division. And, I would love to see her and Shayna go at it again, and then her and Becky would be a good match. Her and Asuka would be a hard-hitting match. So that's cool. But we all know where this is going. It's going to Mania. They're going to have that match for the NXT Women's title. Next thing in the show was Ricochet versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's kind of instilled with Lana. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with that. If they're going to bring Rusev back to maybe go at it again at WrestleMania, but it seems to me like he's going to be an Andre the Giant Battle Royal guy, so is Rusev, and maybe they'll finish off that story there if it's not done yet. So it's it is what it is, but he took on Ricochet. Ricochet got the win. Obviously, Ricochet is getting the title match at Super Showdown against Brock, so they had him beat a larger opponent just to build him up towards Brock. Now, Ricochet is a guy I really like. He's not the best on the mic, but he's just, a prototypical babyface. His moveset is pure babyface moveset, and he could be a guy that could get a lot of sympathy, work from underneath, and, with the right opponent, with the right feud, you could really skyrocket him up. It's kind of been stop and go with Ricochet, but I really hope that with the Lesnar thing, he has a good match. Obviously, he's going to have a good match because Lesnar with smaller guys gets really good matches out of him. With the match he had with AJ, the match he had with Daniel Bryan, with Finn Balor. And Brock is super underrated. I think he's one of the best sellers I've ever seen. That guy, nobody sells a low blow better than Brock Lesnar. And when he sells, it's amazing. He gets super red, gets all wobbly legs, starts flopping around all over the place. But he really does a great job. I'm a big Lesnar fan, and I really like his work and everything he does. I know people hate on him and everything like that, but he's a legit badass, legit guy, most legit guy in the company, most legit guy in all wrestling, basically. And, when he sells for you, he sells for you. So that's going to be a solid match. It's going to be dominant by Lesnar in the beginning, and then Ricochet's going to get his shit in, and Lesnar will sell for him, and then Lesnar will probably just get the win. But hopefully, probably Ricochet's going to be another Andre the Giant Battle Royal guy. So there's that. But, Ricochet gets the win, and just to build up towards that Lesnar fight. We got the Orton promo in the ring, 2 weeks removed from him beating up Edge and really hurting him bad, and Edge kind of going to the hospital and all that stuff. So it's Edge. Orton didn't say anything last week, barely said anything this week. While he was about to say stuff, Matt Hardy came out and interrupted, and then Matt Hardy goes over this whole thing about him and Edge being best friends, even all that stuff happened with Lita, and talks about how they came up, in the late 90s, early 2000s with the TLC matches, and just went over a whole thing to get sympathy on him, especially on Edge as well. I kind of knew what was coming, that Randy Orton was going to beat the shit out of Matt Hardy, but it came off as that Matt Hardy's done with the company, basically. That's the way it felt anyways. With everything he said, it was kind of like a swan song type thing, going over the arc of his, some of his early stuff in his career with Jeff and TLC and the Hart and Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and all that stuff like that. So he goes over all this stuff, and then he gets an RKO, and then he gets a concerto, which we haven't seen in a long time, and that was pretty much it with that. So Randy Orton, he's there. His expression changes a million times with the million voices he's hearing in his head. Overall, good segment. You obviously know that's going to be him and Edge at WrestleMania. Randy Orton and Edge, so that should be a good match. I was a big rated RKO guy, so that shit's going to be awesome. And that's one of the matches that I really can't wait for. Good to see Edge back. But you see how they're just getting sympathy on Matt Hardy. And it seems like it's the end of Matt Hardy in WWE, unless he goes back in a backstage role. But, I'm assuming he still wants to wrestle, so he'll probably go somewhere else and bring back broken Matt Hardy. Came back. He hasn't done much. Been gone for a while. They did the Woken thing. They didn't really do it that well. They did the final deletion, or the ultimate deletion, whatever that shit was called, which was cool. But it was real stop and go, and I guess Vince just didn't like it. So it seems like his career is now over with WWE, and now, it's just a build towards Randy versus Edge at Mania. Next match was Aleister Black versus Akira Tozawa. Just a throwaway match just to keep Aleister Black looking strong. He really hasn't done a whole lot. His matches with Buddy Murphy were awesome, so that's obviously not going to happen at Mania, but he might get a feud from here to Mania where he's on the card and he actually has a singles match. Or he's an Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, probably, most likely, or something like that. But I really like Aleister Black. He's a legit guy, very good in the ring. Seems to be pretty okay on the mic. But I would like to see him actually get into a feud that means something, that's long going, and it's a personal rivalry type of thing. So hopefully that happens soon between now and Mania, so he actually gets his match at Mania. Last year he was in that tag turmoil match, so hopefully this year he gets a singles match and actually gets an opponent, and that's that he can have a good program with. Hopefully, if not, he's probably under the Giant participant guy. So that was it. But just one of those matches to put over Aleister Black and keep him looking strong. Okay, after this match, what happens next is the ambulance pulls up and Becky's driving and she gets out. I was kind of hoping that you would get a bigger reaction, but again, it was just a bite on the back of the neck. I mean, it looked pretty savage, but I mean, to go to the hospital and come back like that, it's really, it's not like when Austin did it. You get in the back of an ambulance and he would come driving that bitch back when he had the neck brace and all that shit on. So, I think it had to be a more impactful injury for her to be taken in an ambulance and bring it back for her to get the reaction that they wanted to get for it. But, it is what it is. She came out, she cut a promo with her neck all bandaged up in the back. So it was okay. I mean, they're just setting up more Baszler versus Lynch at Mania for the women's title. Should be an awesome match. Should be hard-hitting. Should be very physical. Baszler's a beast. So, I mean, it should be a good match. But, again, they really didn't get the reaction that they wanted. So, it's not bad, but it could have been better. More, biting on the neck is okay. The visual was cool, but it just wasn't as effective enough to get that reaction when she comes back with driving the ambulance. Main event, which was set up earlier in the night, which was Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah for the 1,000th time, Buddy Murphy and AOP versus Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and the Viking Raiders. It's a 8-man tag, a lot of guys moving around, a lot of moving pieces in this match. So you try to keep Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens off of Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins as much as you possibly can, to maybe not give away that match, because that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be those 4 guys for the tag titles at Mania, and should be a good match. All the guys, 2 guys that are bigger guys got the strength advantage versus 2 of the smaller guys who got the speed advantage and a lot of the flying around and stuff like that. So that should be a good match, but we all know that's where it's going. So this match ended with Rollins, the chicken shit heel, cheating or screwing over the other team and getting the win. They got out, and that's basically it. That's how Monday Night Raw went off the air, but that's what it looks like is going to happen. That tag match at Mania should be good. The card is kind of shaping up for the Raw side. We got that tag match probably going to happen. I just said Rollins and Murphy versus Joe and Owens. We have Baszler versus Lynch. We have Charlotte versus Rhea. I mean, it's an NXT title match, but it's a Raw superstar. We got Orton and Edge, McIntyre and Lesnar. And let's see, Ricochet's probably, like I said, an Andre the Giant guy. Aleister Black probably the same if he doesn't get a feud. Let's see what happens with Angel Garza, Andrade. Maybe they do that tag match I was saying against Humberto and Rey Mysterio. Let's see if that happens. But, not a bad episode of Raw. It's just continuously building towards that. Next, we got Super Showdown. So we'll do a little bit of build towards that as the matches get all fleshed out. Got the Ricochet Brock Lesnar match, which, like I said, it should be a good match. Really excited about that one. But, Friday, noon, trying to watch wrestling is kind of tough. So you watch it afterwards, but it should be a good match. Should be a decent, event. The other ones haven't been all that, but hopefully this one, kind of steps it up and it's a better event. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. That's the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw. What do you think of the storylines, and what do you think this whole Monday Night Messiah thing being said 1,000 times on every Monday? So let me know if there's any other ideas you guys have as to what Mania matches probably will and won't happen, and let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.